Brian, my long streak came to an end. And to be honest, I almost had 3 years. But I have actually once again gotten sick. And it happened, and I'm not accusing you of in this, by the way, but when we recorded our last podcast, the Experience My Show, I said, I'm catching something, and I'll go into details on why I knew this. But I said, I'm catching something, I'm getting something. And since then, yeah, it encapsulates my life. I shit myself 3 times on Monday. You may be hearing chainsaws in the back, folks. That's a whole nut. We'll save that one for the Experience.
This is such a unique open.
Corky the Lumberjack and the city of Louisville. But
never before have the words "I shit myself" been followed by "you may hear a chainsaw in the background."
Well, there's a separate subplot. God damn it, I told you. I told you not to make me laugh when we started this. No, looky here. We did the Experience last week, and we had just welcomed you back into the chair, full time. And you and I had celebrated somewhat off air that we were now going to finally go back to our normal recording schedule. You know, it was just a few months ago that the people, the cult of Cornette, were saying, gosh, you guys are working overtime. We had those breaking news updates coming out on YouTube, and we were bam, just Johnny on the spot on the news, on TV and everything. And then obviously we explained on the Experience. And again, thank you to everybody who's reacted to the news of Brian's father passing away. But nevertheless, we said, okay, you know, you're back in the chair and I'm in perfect health. And this is going to be sunshine, lollipops, rainbows, and waterfalls from here on out, right? And fucking hell, here's what had the cold came from inside the house. Because I know a lot of people go, how did Cornette get sick? Did he catch it from a squirrel? What the fuck? Well, Brian, you already know the story of this, but again, Stacey and I both know it's flu season, and they got the respiratory infection going around in children, and the flu season is like 4 times worse than it's around here. At least it's on the local news. I'm not talking about whatever you think about the national news. I'm talking about our goddamn local Fox station, for fuck's sake. They're not controversial. Fucking flu's off the charts, and the respiratory illness in the kids, and we still got COVID, but, you know, we're all vaccinated, blah, blah, blah. And I was we both had appointments with the doctor this past Tuesday, just me for a renewal of my meager blood pressure prescription and blood work for my annual physical for them to tell me I'm in perfect health again. And stays for a follow-up on a thing check she had on her back or whatever. We've already got a doctor's appointment. We're feeling fine. And the one Stace goes to Versailles, visit our friends right before Thanksgiving, takes Harley over to play with the dogs while there's people with jackhammers over here in the house, and just has a nice little visit. They don't go anywhere either. They don't, fucking go to music festivals in Rio de Janeiro where they're going to be hanging off of slobbering people. So but the mother-in-law is there. Comes in, Stacey gives her a big hug. And she, I haven't seen you in a while. Well, how you been? Just getting over a cold, but I'm feeling much better. And then Stacey's like, hey, you just hugged me before you buried the lead there, lady. So that was 2 days before Thanksgiving, right?
Lady,
you had a big bad virus and you blew it on me. And now I am puking blood out my nose. So anyway, she comes home and we've got the big Thanksgiving dinner and everything planned. And I'm actually taking 3 days off for the first time since Action Figure Armageddon began before, my birthday in September. And the first thing that she says when she gets up on Thanksgiving morning is, "Achoo." And I said, "Well, back at you." What? And she was, "Oh no, it's the weather because it's been cold and hot and rain and none." And okay, we're going to power through this. And by the time we finished, the Thanksgiving dinner, she's okay. I got to go to bed. All right. Well, it's to give her space to, sleep and rest and snot out everywhere, I'll sleep in the office for a few nights. Just in case, because we got to record and we got to do this and that and the other thing. One of us got to be healthy. Okay, so that's what we're going to each end of the house. And that's what we did. And bless her, I was going to take the days off. Well, then I did. Well, what the fuck? I'm going to sit here and watch TV. So I'm signing action figures, folks. The customers at Cornette's Collectibles benefited from my vacation being canceled. But she gets worse on Friday and Saturday. Well, it's Thanksgiving weekend and we've already got a doctor's appointment scheduled. She said, "Well, I'm going to fucking urgent care and blah, blah, blah." Okay. So finally, as I say, you and I on Sunday, we do the show. And she said maybe she was feeling a little better, but then it's a lot of sweating and everything. At first we thought it might be a cold, but then the chills and the sweating and all that various things, it's got to be flu. So Monday morning, I get up and God damn it. Because Sunday, we did the show early. So it was, see, I've lost track of time, Brian, and I'm on drugs and steroids, so I could get fucking pissed. Sunday, we finished the show fairly early in the day. By the end of that night, I wasn't eating dinner. And it wasn't like a big head cold because I wasn't sneezing and my nose wasn't running. It was just no energy and no interest in food for me even. And all of a sudden I'm cold and we've got the heat turned up farther than it's ever been. And there's the cough and the hack and the da-da-da. See, this is goddamn WebMD right here. I'm going to tell y'all people exactly what to do about this. Here, there's going to be a fucking public service message in a minute because I've been to the doctor and he's told me these things. So then I don't eat dinner. And then on Monday, it's just, I'm trying to sign figures or I'm trying to just get up. I'll stare at shit while I'm sitting on the couch for fucking a while in between coughing fits and or, try to do something else. And then I realized it'd gone by Monday. I didn't think I ate anything on Sunday. I realized I didn't. So I was like, I got to have some Ritz crackers. So I go from Saturday evening when I actually had a meal to Monday sometime evening with only eating 2 packages of Ritz crackers and 2 12-packs of Sprite Zero because you got to stay hydrated. So that became a situation where every time you had the big hard cough or you wanted to let a little Rudy Poot out into the world, you shit yourself, pal. And I'm not even drinking the protein shit that Vince was on. And then follows, the waking up in a puddle of sweat. Now we're both sick. Well, fuck, no reason not to goddamn share the same room now. So in the middle of the night, like Tuesday morning, I wake up and try to turn over in bed and I use my elbow to push off. And the sheet under me was so wet from perspiration that I squeaked like a tire squealing on a slick road and so loud it woke Stace and Harley up. What was that? It was just me squeaking. So we go to the doctor Tuesday morning and he at first was thinking the C word. Because he said, well, now with everybody being vaccinated, symptoms are, milder and the variants, symptoms are different and blah, blah, blah. He said, I bet you're going to be positive. I'm like, Newman, I'm still going to be the last motherfucker to get this. I know it. And the test comes back and they stuck the thing up my nose. That's the first time I've ever had a COVID test. It's the first time I've ever fucking had any reason to suspect I had COVID. And he comes back in about 20 minutes later, whatever it was. You're negative. And I'm like, oh, yes. I knew it. Chic negative, baby. So then, but we've got to get the antibiotics and the steroids. And so he gives me the medicine, gives Stace the same medicine. We got the same thing. And boom, we, get back in the car, get the prescription, come home, bundle up again, freezing to death. I've never turned the heat up this fucking far. But then, since I'm saying, he said, get plenty of rest and take this medicine. Well, fuck, then I think that's the night I couldn't fucking sleep. Yes, it was. No, it was the next night. See, again. But as I start taking this shit, the antibiotics makes me feel a little bit better. And as far in my head, again, it's going to my chest, blah, blah, blah. But it was the night after that. I realized I'm not sleeping as good as I was before I was goddamn got the medicine. And then I looked at the sheet of paper. They give you the warnings and all the side effects, and your uterus will fall out and your dick will turn green, right? And among the many things it says is just antibiotics and like prednisone or whatever it is may cause sleeplessness. I said, well, goddamn. Well, then he told me to take this medicine and get some sleep. Well, which is it going to be then? Take the medicine or get the sleep? It apparently can't be both. So we have been trying. We were going to record on Wednesday. And I didn't have the breath. And we were going to record Thursday, and I hadn't had the sleep or the mental fucking acumen at that point. So we're ripping this thing out, and boy, is that an apt simile today, which is Friday morning. And we're going to do the best we can to provide the folks with a wonderful program. But to sum up my medical report, I'm feeling a little bit better, but I may wheeze at you today and or not talk as fast as normal. Stacy's feeling a bit better, but probably feels the same way I do, except she's not quite as silly as I am. And the doctor says everybody needs to get out and get their flu shot or their boosters or whatever they're overdue on to minimize and mitigate feeling like caca and shitting yourself several times a day. How you been, Brian?
Jim, it takes a big man to admit he's shit himself several times. Didn't Vince McMahon get mad at Jim Ross for revealing that he shit himself?
I can't remember. Well, it seems like, it could go either way. Because Vince is the kind of guy that would like to hear that story and would get a kick out of it, but maybe not when he was the perpetrator of the shart. But I've shit myself a number of times when I haven't even been sick. It's all about, placement and fucking surroundings, timing. Technically, if you're shitting on purpose, but you still shit on yourself, isn't that shitting yourself?
Explain exactly how this would happen. You're shitting on purpose, and it happens to go on yourself.
Yeah. You're trying to take a shit.
Are you in the forest? Where?
Yes. Yes. You're. God damn it! I told you, don't make me laugh. I can't let you're in the forest. You're on an island in the, I guess, is that the Caribbean? St. Martin? Where is that? Is that the Caribbean?
Well, there's plenty of islands. You can pick any island, yeah.
Well, no, you're on an island behind a sand dune. You're in the forest 2 or 3 times. You're actually in the forest, but it's off an interstate exit because it's 2:00 in the morning in the days when they didn't have all night gas stations at every exit, and they used to lock their doors. They probably still do at the gas station. Yeah. If you had an outside bathroom, it was locked. You had to get the key. If they're open, closed, you're fucked. So that would be hanging off the back bumper of the car, trying to lean over the goddamn edge of the fucking service road.
Did you say 2 times in the forest?
2 or 3. Well, in my life. How
often are you in the forest? Yeah.
Well, no, when I was a kid, one time I was at the lake about fucking 2 miles behind the house here before they fucked the whole area up with the subdivision. And we were fishing And I, tried to go behind a tree to, because I didn't want to walk all the way back to the house. And the son of a bitch, I lost my balance and fell backwards. It fell back in it, as they say. But I missed my shit and landed in a cow pie. And then there was another time that I actually...
So it doesn't sound like you shit on yourself at all in that situation.
Well, no, but at the same time, you got shit on you. But then there's another time as I did slip and fall back in it. That was the time off the fucking exit at the thing. Yeah, anyway.
How old were you?
What? It was about 30, 35.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what are you talking about? Fishing, or are you talking about at the interstate?
Any of these, because I think there has to be an age cutoff. Like, it doesn't count before like the age of, I don't know, 10 or 12.
I was under 12 then in the cow pie incident. So it's your show.
People always want to know what the Midnight Express did with their time off. They were in the forest having these wild adventures with cow pies.
No, wait a minute. Were the boys with me one time? No, I was alone. I've had to shit twice coming back in the middle of the night from a fucking town where you were miles from anywhere, and pulled off the side of the road. And because of my bad knees, I can't squat sufficiently to do that for that long, that deep, and not get any on me. So my mode of preference is that I'd get behind the car and yes, bend my knees and crouch down somewhat. But if you grip the back bumper, then you're leaning backwards and you're shitting straight down, but your feet are kind of, perpendicular, angular underneath the bumper. And I'm able to hold myself without putting a strain on my knees. Don't you see, Matthew? And then you just evacuate your bowels and then fucking get a wide stance around it and avoid it. And you've already got something there. I'll be a car towel, a burger towel sitting right there. It's ready to, do the maintenance, and then you go on your way. But the one time,
you made it sound easy. Yeah.
When I was reaching for the burger towel, my other hand slipped off the goddamn bumper, and there was some intermixing between me and the poopy.
What do you do? Do you get rid of the pants? Or what? I figure you landed. Actually, I don't know where you landed. Did you get rid of the shirt? What did you land?
Pants on. I was going to shit in my pants. I took my pants off.
Well, when you fell back, when you're shitting behind the bumper, did you take your pants all the way off, or did you roll them down a little bit and then squat or whatever the fuck you were doing?
I'm wearing goddamn fucking sweatpants as far as I can remember. Zubaz back in those days, maybe. So now you just I didn't want to. You would shit in the pants, even if they were around your knees. Then by the time you stood up to perform the performance with the burger towels, there might be some drippage, and then you got to sit back in the pants and get back in the car. Then you're cross-contaminating your own feces back into your flesh and your clothing, and then putting it in your car seat.
Oh.
And then you don't know where it'll go from there. So the best thing to do is just take the pants off and set them up on the goddamn trunk, and then fucking perform the lean back with the burger towel with an easy reach, and then perform the cleanup, and then go on about your merry way. But in that one case with slipping off the bumper, there was more burger towels involved. But I'll tell you what happened. We went to St. Martin for the NWA convention in 1987. Crockett flew himself and, I think two or the promoters, Elliot Murnick, and all 15 or 20 of the top guys to St. Martin for the weekend for the NWA convention, because there was no NWA convention anymore. It was in name only. It was a tax write-off for them. There was no promoters meeting where they voted on the title anymore or whatever. In 86, he took us to Las Vegas. So it was just Crockett rewarding the top guys. And so we all go to St. Martin, and everybody's wife got to come. And so I'm talked into, by the previous administration, into a boat ride a boat ride now. I sound like goddamn, yeah. They were playing Camptown Races, singing. It was an ice cream truck. No, it was a fucking, not a cruise, but what am I searching for? Maybe an excursion, a 3-hour tour where they took you to an island, cooked a meal, and served it to you, and then brought you back from the fucking island, right? And it'd take 3 or 4 hours. And it didn't sound bad, and it was supposed to be a classically trained chef or whatever. I think it was a crappily trained chef, but we'll get to that in a minute. So go out there, and of course, we're going to be on a fucking boat in the middle of the goddamn Caribbean or wherever that part of the world is. And we got to get sunscreen. I was not a noted tanner in my 20s. And so I reach up and at the fucking gift shop or whatever and grab the bottle off the SPF, whatever the highest protection is, right? I grab one. No, I had her grab one. That's what it was. Even further fucking proof of my innocence. Somebody had put the SPF non-existent bottle in the goddamn SPF. This is a fucking sun shield column. And she didn't look. And we get out there, we put all this shit on us. We think we're covered up. Radiation could not penetrate this fucking shield we put on, right? We're going to ride on this boat, eat this fucking lunch on this island, ride back, and there'll be the end of it. All the way there, boom. I'm thinking, I'm getting fucking hot. Give me some more of that goddamn sunscreen. Put some more on. We eat the lunch. Within 20 minutes, I mean, some people have not yet fucking finished picking their teeth. My stomach started bubbling. I'm like, what? Is there a restroom on that boat? Because there's only like 8 of us, I think, including the captain, the skipper. Is there a restroom on that? No, sir. But you can go, what if you got to do number 2? I'm thinking. At the time, I didn't want to come out and say to all of these strange people that I'd been hornswoggled into spending a fucking afternoon with, that I didn't particularly have anything in common with any goddamn one of them. It was idly fucking staring off into space. I didn't want to tell them all I'm about to shit myself, so I just wandered off. And I got as far away as I could on it. And it's not like this is like Gilligan's Island with all these palm trees and shit. It's a pretty goddamn bare. It's a sandbar looking fucking thing. They can see me for a while. So I'll walk as far as I can go and get around some scrub brush. And as soon as I do that, I realize I have brought not a goddamn thing to wipe with. I was so verklempt over this whole situation I'd found myself in that I did and I was younger then, and that was only after the first knee surgery. The second one was so the point is I could get down there. And then I said, all right, I'll use my tube sock. It's a brand, I've just put it on that morning. It's not filthy. It's a white tube sock. I feel
on the
strange.
Beach?
No, my sock that I'm wearing. What do you mean?
I said on the beach. Are you on the beach?
Well, no, we're on this island. There is a beach on this island. You can walk. I'm not going to be walking around barefoot like fucking Tarzan. I've got my fucking tennis shoes on. There's goddamn sharp rocks and who knows what fuck else out there. Goddamn bones of fish.
You're on the beach walking around with tube socks and tennis sneakers?
No, they're on the beach eating the fucking food that made me have to shit. I'm as far up in this goddamn son of a bitch that they've landed us on as I can be, that nobody can see me. And I want to go walk that far barefoot. So fuck you, back to my story. So I'll use one of my tube socks. God damn, now I'm dizzy. And that worked, right? That worked. But then I realized I can't walk back over there wearing only one sock now. Maybe if I take the other sock off, I'm wearing my shoe. They won't notice, right? Well, he was always just wearing shoes. You know, it's the beach. As soon as I walk back over, my wife goes, what happened to your socks? I said, shut up. So that's the point where I fucking look down and I notice, wait a minute, why am I getting so fucking red? Because there's no, like I said, there's no shade on this thing. And there's no real covered area on this little boat. And my legs, and look at where I can see where I've taken the socks off now. There's a difference. I said, give me some more of that sunscreen. And I look, and that's where it's like, what is the lowest sun protection is either 2 or 4 or something like that. That's what it is. And I look, what did you get? I got in the, okay. So now it's the middle of fucking summer in the Caribbean or the Caribbean. And we didn't bring goddamn full body suits. There's nothing really to cover up with. Like, if you have a bath towel we can wrap around ourselves, just get us fucking home. So we get back to the thing, and that's why I've told a story before, picking up from there, that it was the next day we were supposed to leave, and I had to go back. We went to, was it Minneapolis? The night before, it was February 27, 1987. No, that was when I came back from Hawaii. Goddamn, it was, where did I go back from? Oh, go back to here. No, we went back to goddamn Pittsburgh. It was still Pittsburgh, but it wasn't the cage match. All right. Fuck story up. I'm on drugs. I've got to go back to the northeastern United States to go back to work for Crockett, and my wife's going on back to Charlotte. So we got separate flights. So all night we both laid in bed shivering and in agony, because then we were full-fledged sunburned, and I mean red and raw, and just and couldn't have a fucking sheet on you. And then that was the fucking rib, is that I had to go back to the Northeast. I put shorts on because I couldn't have shit on my legs, and now I can't even wear socks because my feet are fucking sunburned, right? And I've got this white shit all over me. So I'm walking through, it was either an airport in New Jersey or upper Pennsylvania or whatever, looking like a fucking lunatic. I got a t-shirt and shorts on and socks with no shoes, and I'm sunburned as fuck, and it's like 30 degrees outside and fucking whatever. And I was miserable. I couldn't even put my knee braces on after that for like 3 days. So that was a shitty experience. So that's another time, you know, and what are you going to do? You're going to shit in public. It's not really public. You're going to shit out in the open and let nature take its course.
Seems to happen to you a little more frequently than the average person.
I've been a lot more strange places than the average bear there, fella. How many people you know been in half of the situations that I've been in through fault of my own or not?
Just minding your own business, and these things happen. Well, Jim,
I wasn't even there. It was Owen. All right. So anyway, have we talked enough about poopy?
Well, you know, it's unfortunate that it was set up so naturally, but it makes me wonder that, are you happy that when you went there, you had not yet discovered Manscaped, I guess, now that I think about this transition, trying to be honest about it, but the knowledge that one day there would be a service that we would transition to and talk about here on the show.
You know, I'll tell you what, that I've not thought of it until you just brought it up, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and pubic hair enthusiasts of all ages, that would have saved me a lot of grief back in the days on the road if Manscaped had been a thing, because back then, and of course, a lot of the wrestlers shaved their bodies, the bodybuilders and the pretty boys and everything, they shaved various parts of their bodies, but they had to do it the old-fashioned way with those big disposable razors or the daggum razor cartridges and shaving cream, and all this shit. It was a process, and there was a lot of damage done to various places a lot of the wrestling fans never even saw. Back in those days, and in other cases, like myself, who was neither a bodybuilder nor a pretty boy, I was not able to do that because I didn't want to slice my shit up, right? So it would get sticky and it would get messy in those times where you were either out there in the ring sweating your balls off to give the people what they wanted, or when you were trying to give yourself what you wanted out behind the bumper of your car out in the woods, in my stance. And a lot of burger towels would have been saved if I had, because what that is it's not a filter. It's not a filter. The hair around your asshole. It's not a filter. What it is an impediment. You want all the effluvia to go all the way out. You don't want any of it to catch on the way, see? So therefore, I've found that not only if you jingle your balls at Christmas, but also if you will just take that Hershey Highway and just whack all the foliage off the left side down and the right side up, then you will be slicker than cum on a gold tooth and clean as a whistle, even if you have to poop in the woods. That's just what I've found. And folks, the Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is the one-stop shop for the man who deserves it all, whether he wants to manscape his man parts or avoid pooping accidents. And while you're at it, it's good for the chest, it's good for the underarms, it's good for the forearms, it's good for the knife edge chops, it's good for all of them. The Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer is what we're talking about, the best personal grooming implement that we have ever seen on this planet. But it comes along with the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer, because you can't get the lawnmower up your nose or in your ear. Or up your ear and in your nose. Whichever way you try it, that won't work. That's why they made their own dedicated Weed Whacker. And it also comes with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Ball Toner. It also comes with the incredible brand new Body Buffer, an incredible body scrubber that allows you to exfoliate yourself. And that's now becoming legal in more states. Brian, have you heard about this? I think Mississippi was the latest to make exfoliating yourself legal, so now you can do it with the brand. Well, you can go to manscaped.com and check out all the implements and ingredients in the Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0. And this Christmas, it's never too early to start thinking about gifts, whether it's for a friend in these parts or a friend in your pants. You can make this season a jolly one. You can whack down a bunch of weeds with these bad little boys and do your little drummer boy a favor so that he doesn't trip on his way to Mama's house to drum.
What? Is this
or maybe he'll just end up beating it. I don't know. The little drummer boy. Come, they told him. Pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. There you go. You've got the rhythm. All right. If you go to manscaped.com/JCE right now, you're going to get 20% off and free shipping on however many of these sumbitches you buy, because how many friends you got? Most of you out there, I know our listeners have at least one or two imaginary friends, couple of make-believe friends, and a friend that actually owes them money. That's why they stick around. But nevertheless, get a bunch of them and just pass them out, because I bet if everybody started making their crotches smell nicer, even if everybody was walking around clothed downtown, you could smell the difference in the air. Do something good for the environment this Christmas. Manscaped.com/JCE, 20% off and free shipping, and make the world's crotches smell better.